loves, welcome into the channel. I hope that you guys are doing absolutely great. The title of this read is Luminescent Molecular Consciousness, Checkmate, the Victory of Light. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into it. It is my intention that this reading serve your highest and greatest good, as well as the highest and greatest good of the Most High God. This reading sparks a major DNA activation, okay? And just like we did in yesterday's read, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to pull one card from this deck, which is the White Light Oracle Guidebook, okay? Or White Light Oracle, my bad. The guidebook is called the Guidebook. But the deck is just the White Light Oracle, okay? But anyway, we're going to pull one card out of this deck for our takeaway, okay? Yeah, so after I took the notes for the reading that's titled Gates of Heaven, particularly on the part where, for those of you guys that were in that read, some of you, if you haven't watched that read, you might want to go back first and watch that and then come back here and watch this one, so it'll all make sense. But the three energy attachments, at the point when those three energy attachments had been released and dismissed, and the ladder was provided, okay, I want to talk a little more in detail about what happened there. So, Lasya of Parvati, okay, we're going to read this card at the end as our takeaway, all right? Okay. All right, give me 1 second. Let me set this deck down somewhere. Okay, so, and then what we're going to do, we're going to pull from the Key of Life deck here, okay, that I created. All right, so at the point when the attachments were released, there was a ladder that was provided. Well, I climbed up that ladder and out through an opening. Now, as I emerged from the other side, I saw myself surrounded by these large molecules and atoms. Okay, I'm talking about large, like almost the size of a hot air balloon if you were standing in the presence of a hot air balloon. Okay, like large. Okay, I'm hearing larger than life. I'm also hearing life size. Okay, but take that as it resonates. Okay. So I was standing in a space where I was completely surrounded by these molecules and these atoms. I immediately came out of meditation because at first glance, y'all, I didn't know what the heck that was. I was like, what are those? They look familiar, but what are they called, right? So I had to describe them to Google and find images in order to identify with what I was connecting with, okay? Ooh, okay, let's take a minute. We got, I am fruitful. It says you have real wealth and abundance, river of blessings. Ooh, that's some good energy right there. That's like cornucopia. That's like, abundance overflowing. Okay. It says the extraterrestrial realm, air elements. Now I see why they had me grab this deck. Okay, Spirit, I'm here. Okay. Air element. So that's Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Could be highly significant or influential to this reading. Consciousness. Consciousness. I put what I wanted to on that when I read it. But anyway, it says goodness comes back around. Okay. Goodness comes back around. I am a wealth of experience. Tuesday could be highly significant to this energy. Okay. This is the diamond. The diamond principles. Talks about skills, strength, character, and mindset. So something about your strength, skills, and character and mindset could be highlighted at this time. And then we have the song here by Emmy Melly. It's called I Am Woman. Okay. Fertility are the vibes. We got the red rose energy, y'all. Okay. We got the roses. They got a little red on them. Okay. All right. So we're going to take these cards. At the bottom of the deck is pressure. Okay. This song is First Person Shooter, and it's by Drake featuring J. Cole. Okay, pressure. So you guys, y'all could be pressure. Y'all know pressure makes diamonds. Okay, so that energy is floating around here too. All right, so I'm gonna step away from these for a second. So yeah, so I had to jump off, my meditation. I was like, let me get out of this meditation and let me get my phone, Google. So I put the little description of what I was seeing into Google, and it told me they were atoms and molecules. Now, in addition to that, that vision that I had, I also saw a large rodent. And then I saw a chess piece be moved like on a chessboard. And then I heard checkmate. Okay. Now, this vision, it points to the idea that our very essence, our soul, is not separate from matter, but woven into it. The molecules that we saw in the vision were a direct sign of DNA activation, showing that even the smallest building blocks of your body even in those smallest building blocks of your body, transformation is happening. We're going to break this message down into sections, okay? Because this is kind of a lot what I'm going to be giving you guys right now. Remember, your higher self is receiving the message. Whether you right now can connect with it or not, you might, it might resonate later, and that's okay. You might need to come back, and that's okay too. All right? But this is, I got to give y'all the message, okay? But anyway, I'm gonna break this message down into sections, okay, so that we can get the full scope here. And there are 2 movie references that'll come up that are to be used for this message, and they are the movie Lucy and the movie Soul. Okay, so we're gonna first talk about the section of science and spirit, the dual nature of light. Okay, now the scientific side of this message talks about the molecules and how they're fundamental units of matter. They're light itself through photons. Okay, they act as both particle and wave. Even photons can cluster like molecules, photonic molecules, suggesting that matter and light aren't as separate as they seem. Okay? Now, the spiritual side is this duality reflects us, beings of light with mass. Our soul threads illumination into physical form, becoming luminescent molecular consciousness. Okay? So I was posed the question when getting and retrieving the notes for this message. I heard Spirit ask me, how does a rainbow know to shine after it's rained? The crazy part is Spirit answered and said, it's threaded. Okay. I'm going to tie all this together. So just bear with me. Okay. To thread is to put something on a thread, a chain, etc., that passes through it, especially in such a way as to connect a number of things by passing a thread through each. It's interwoven, okay? Threading of light and mass. So let's talk about this section. The rainbow imagery that I was given, that question that I was posed, and the idea of threading show how light organizes into visible beauty once it passes through rain, which is matter. Rain is matter, okay, in case y'all didn't know. But just bear with me. Now, similarly, our soul's light thread itself through mass, the body. The body is also mass, okay? Now, this threading makes us not just consciousness, not just matter, but luminescent matter, okay? Now, the symbolism in the vision, let's talk about it. The large rodent, the chess piece, the ladder. The large rodent often symbolizes persistence, adaptability, survival, and resourcefulness. It suggests an instinctive intelligence at the molecular level, small things with big impact, okay? Now, the chess piece, which alluded to the checkmate energy, this reveals a strategic victory in the spiritual realm. A move has been completed that shifts the entire board. Now, on a molecular spiritual level, the game is won, okay? The ladder through the gates of heaven reading, remember, this is a literal ascension symbol. You didn't just climb into the light, you climbed into the architecture of existence itself, where molecules and atoms revealed themselves to you. Now, the connection to the films that we mentioned, Lucy and Soul. Lucy, in that movie, it shows DNA unlocking hidden potential, expanding consciousness beyond human limitation. This reading resonates with that activation. So some of you guys are about to have an activation where your consciousness is expanded beyond human limitation. Okay? That's why I say your higher self already approves this message. Your higher self knows what to do with this information. Okay? Just listen. All right. Now, the movie Soul, it explores pre-life, afterlife, and what makes us us. It ties back to the vision, okay, where souls were returning luminescence, but still threaded into unique expression. Molecular consciousness, which is new science and spirit together, even though it's not really socially accepted by mainstream science, the theory mirrors what was experienced in our meditation. So, consciousness as an informational field interwoven with molecular activity, the vision of giant molecules shows that you were being walked through this truth. Your soul was being shown that matter itself is consciousness, and you are awakening to that molecular awareness. Y'all, this is consciousness awoken on a whole nother level. Okay? This is your consciousness that has awoken on a whole other another level. Do you hear me? What I'm saying to you? Okay? Hold on one second. Yes. Let me say it again. This is your consciousness. Y'all remember that movie? Because I'm hearing that. I'm seeing that movie. Give me a second to think about what it's called. I don't think I can remember what it's called, but let me explain what happened in the movie. This guy, he ends up, I don't know if it's called Crank. I can't remember what that movie is called. But in the movie, or Speed, is it Speed? Anyway, he ends up somehow getting injected with this drug. And he has to continuously be injected with this drug, or else he will cease to exist. He'll unalive, right? But I just picked up that vision of this movie. It's like your consciousness is about to be on speed. I hate to say it like that, and I'm not trying to trigger anybody dealing or battling any type of addictions, but it's like your consciousness is about to be on a high, okay, without any drugs. All right. Your mind, same as in the movie Lucy, is about to, but she wasn't, she also got injected with some type of drug, right? But it's like your mind, your consciousness is going to be on a superhuman level, okay? If that makes sense. Yeah. It's like your mind, your consciousness is about to be on a high, but without any type of superficial drug, okay? All right. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe that. Because one, I can't think of what the movie is called. Weird movie. Really, it moves really, really fast. So I'm getting like your mind is going to be, your consciousness is going to be moving at the speed. Okay. The speed and sound of light. Take that as it resonates. All right. So the message from Source for this reading is that you are returning to your original form, luminescence. Okay. But unlike pure light that is undefined, you are becoming a defined, embodied luminescence threaded with mass. You are the rainbow after the rain, honey. The photon made molecule, the consciousness that is both vast and precise. Okay? I feel like my science techie guys, or just my critical thinking people, will love this message because they can really understand what I'm saying. Those that have a background or an awareness or an affinity of scientific things will understand the atoms and the photons and the molecular level that's talked about in this reading. Okay, for me, this one was a big one. All right, it came through and I was just like, whoa, this is a lot of information. But this is how Spirit wanted me to break this down for y'all. Let's go ahead and check out our takeaway here, which is Lasya of Parvati. Okay, the number 32. You guys could be 32 years old, or you could be a master number 555 or 555. Angel number could be very significant to this read. Okay, all right. The month of May could be significant. Okay. Taurus could be significant. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it says there is a gentler way to proceed and obtain the same or even greater effect. Tame the wild and frenzied workings of the mind by grounding yourself with beauty, pleasure, and grace. Pause on the reading of this for just a second. Your consciousness is, you're receiving a DNA activation. Your consciousness is receiving an upgrade. So it could feel like you're floating. It could feel like you need to ground yourself because of all of the knowledge and the information and the understanding that you are about to come into, the knowing that you are about to have. You could need to ground your energy so to not feel as if you're floating away, okay, or losing your mind, okay? Because this energy is very, very powerful. I'm hearing it's very dominant, okay? So you're going to want to stay really, really grounded. The air element is out here. This is extraterrestrial energy that is coming your way, information that's coming your way. It's otherworldly. It's a whole nother energy, okay? All right. So violence and its negative effects shall be overcome and healed through feminine gentleness and inner spiritual strength. The oracle is a sign of great fortune, great future happiness. Must be fortune too, because for me to say fortune, but great future happiness. And that's here, the river of blessings, fertility, the key of life, which is like the wheel of fortune. Okay. And then we got pressure out here. All right. Yeah. See, you see this little astronaut. Okay. It's like we will real far out over here. Okay. And it's like this information you're going to be receiving is far out. Okay. So you're going to need to stay grounded so you can actually be able to harness this wisdom, so you can wield this wisdom in the correct way, in the manner that God is asking you to. Okay. Because it's like giving a vibe where you've been selected to digest this. You've been selected to decipher this information that's coming into your knowing. Okay. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this read. I know it was a lot. Okay. And this might not resonate with everybody, but the specific chosen few that this is going to resonate with, you're going to know exactly what to do with it. You're going to understand it. You're going to be like, okay, I get it. Okay. So don't go on overload. For those of you guys that are meant to receive this message, get grounded. Okay. I'm telling you ahead of time so you'll know what to do with it. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next read. Have a great day. Bye.